everybody. Welcome to the Blargh Factory with me, R.R. Verdi, who has better hair than Jon Snow, and Amy Hopkins. Today, we're going to be talking about marketing. I think. I actually don't know what we're talking about because I always wing it on this show. That is my whole thing. I just kind of go with it. And Amy is going to be doing all the important talking stuff. I'm just here for my hair. So with that, I'm going to leave it to Amy to start.
Excellent. So Ronnie is the official pantser of podcasts. Podcast pantser. That's got to be your subtitle for next episode. The podcast pantser.
I can do that.
Okay. So just to kick off today, we are going to talk about why it's so important to have an author website. And on that note, if you jump onto our YouTube channel, or if you've subscribed, it should have come up for you. I did film the creation of my website, which is now live and really ugly and plain with absolutely no content on it. But you can have a look at that. It's 15 minutes long. Like, that is literally how long it takes you to go from an email from GoDaddy, who I use, saying, yes, you have a website, to having a website. So I went through the installation of WordPress and which plugins I recommend personally, and just sort of showing you the setup screens, because it's really daunting if you've not done something like that before. You do not have to be a technical genius. It's 15 minutes. So I'll be doing extras. I'm going to do, how to update a post, and with those plugins activated, there's a couple of extra things that you can do. So if you share a post on Facebook, you can give it a little custom tagline or blurb. So little things like that will be coming up. So please do subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you don't miss any of that.
I have a question. Well, I'm going to say, please definitely check it out, because as somebody who's had a website for a while, I will tell you the creation of it for me was one of the hardest things. I think you were there when I was trying to make mine, and how much screaming and rage and anger I had on my Facebook wall. Oh my God, it was the worst experience of the author career for me. Worst, more than marketing, more than anything else, because there's so many templates to choose from. There's always a certain look you want to have without going too over the top, making it responsive and not cluttering people's browser. You don't want to crash it. So please watch it. Tutorials really help.
I'm not saying my tutorial was great, and it was really more just to watch me fumble around and figure it out as I go. But yeah, look, themes is really hard, and I think for a great theme you just need to bite the bullet and pay someone to do it. You were lucky. I think you said you had some help getting your final product up and out there. I'm going to have to pay someone, because I can't make it look beautiful, but I can make it look functional. And even if you pay someone to make it look beautiful, for God's sake, figure out how it works, because otherwise you're going to have to pay someone every time you want to tweak it. And that is not feasible long term, considering how many things get updated and how many times you'll change your mind or want to add something new.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the content. I think somebody's knocking on my door. Oh my goodness, kids. Okay, so we're going to talk about why you need an author website, and as a tail on that, why that website should have a mailing list attached. Ronnie, do you have a mailing list?
No, I need to have one. I don't know who I'm going to mail. I don't know how they work, so this is the great thing. You get to do your whole genius web marketing guru thing. I know they're important. I kind of just blog on it and hope for the best, because everything, all my success has been through what I still believe is the best marketing tool at the end of the day, is word of mouth. But I'm going to let you go on and explain why it's so important.
Okay. So the reason that it's so important is it gives you a very direct line to talk to your fans. If somebody sees you on Facebook, they might not know who you are. They might not care who you are. If somebody gets your email, it's because they've gone to the effort of looking up your website, clicking a button that says subscribe here, clicking another button in their email that says, yeah, I actually do want to be subscribed to this. And even though they might not open every email, it's that they've still expressed a very specific interest in you as an author and your series as something that they want to read and stay in touch with. So having that mailing list is the best way to notify your fans that you've got something coming up, whether it's a new book release, it's a book signing, a promotion, maybe, you know, you've just got a few hundred bookmarks and you want to mail them out to some people who, you know, are going to spread that love around a little bit. So I'm going to break it to you, Ronnie. You've got a mailing list. And
I do. Okay.
You do.
This is news to me.
Yours is the stock standard WordPress plugin. So if somebody jumps on your website and enters their email address, they will get all of your blog posts emailed to them. I know this because I am on your mailing list.
I have one person.
You've got a few. I know heaps of people that have subscribed to your mailing list. But what you can't do is specifically send out an email without just making a blog post and letting that go out. So that's where a third-party service like MailChimp comes into play. MailChimp is what we use with the Blargh Factory. So you can jump onto our website, theblarghfactory.com, or you can jump onto our Facebook page, and there's a little app thing in a corner that says it's got a little envelope with a rainbow behind it. You can click on that and you can subscribe to the Blargh Factory. You will get an email each time we update our website with a new post. Most of those posts will be the podcasts. Sometimes there'll be some stuff in between if we have done something really exciting or found some news that we really want to pass on to our watchers and listeners. But I also have the ability through that to do, say, when my book comes out, you guys are all going to get an email, and it won't be in the form of a blog post because I'm going to do a few tricky things that we'll go on to in later months, but you'll get a special email that will only be for our subscribers to say, hey, if you'd like a free advanced review copy of the book, you can do this, click here, follow instructions. But it means that I can send information out to the people that follow us without having to rely on a blog post that everybody will see. I can also, as I said, I've hooked that into our Facebook to make it really easy for people to get on board with. And at the moment, we've got a couple of dozen subscribers to that mailing list. Not as many as the people following us on YouTube, which is great. People are following us, so I'm happy with that. And that will build over time. And every now and then we'll be able to offer free stuff to get people on board. So one way to build your MailChimp list is to offer them a free short story or a free first chapter or something that they can get their hands on that makes it worth it for them to sign up. So we'll be looking at those techniques down the track.
Fair enough. I think I had some success with that. I did, obviously, because I don't know how my mailing list thing works because I'm not website savvy. I did offer a free short story, which is still up on my website, and I did it through a blog post. And it drove a lot of traffic to my website, and then ironically from my website back to my author Facebook page, which is in a sidebar there. Because after I did that, I had 30 more likes within maybe a couple hours, I guess, as people read the story through the day. But it definitely works, and I can understand how through a mailing list it would help more. One marketing technique that I did want to talk about, which it's for me personally, I found the most useful. I can't compare it obviously to a mailing list, but what I've seen works is getting specific reviewers to review your work, because a lot of them already have their own network, which is already built, and it gets you traffic. One of the most important ones for me was a Drop of Ink reviews, which not only did they give me a really good review, I was very happy and fortunate to say it, but the comparisons they used and the traffic they just built up led so much, just more traffic to my work. And then they're also one of the featured editorial reviews on the paperback of my book. So mailing lists, getting the right people to review, all those things, they only add to each other. So it's best not to focus on one, just do everything.
Oh, absolutely. And that's it. Everything that you do is one little thing that sort of links to a bigger picture. You can never rely on a single avenue or a single platform or one single action to build your audience. You have to go as wide as you can. I am just going to quickly say, if anybody's watching live out there, I do have the Q&A turned on. So if you've got any questions as we're moving along, you can type those in and we will certainly do our best to answer those.
I'm sorry, I had to bend over to get something. I'm going to show something later. I have a present for myself.
You do have a present, and I'm really excited. And I hate to say, I don't have it yet, but I will. So actually, let's do that now. Let's do that now while we're talking about doing things in as many ways as we can to build your reach and build your audience.
I did a thing.
You
It's
did
so
a
pretty.
thing, yes.
I know.
Yes.
The paperback is out officially in almost every country but Canada and Australia. I don't understand why that market hasn't been reached. Right now it's only in English, yet it's available in pretty much every country that doesn't speak English, plus obviously the USA and UK, which do. But
all the cool countries.
Again, I don't understand. It's under full distribution. So Ingram Spark, which is what almost every publisher uses to catalog and do everything, it's available through there. So it's already on countless markets in ebook format, paperback. I think it takes 6 weeks, but it'll be available in Barnes & Noble, and I'm actually working on getting it into the print stores, which is something we could talk about another time. But yeah, hopefully it will be there, and it's so pretty. And like the quality is amazing. That's what I was most blown away by. The paper, just the quality of the cover, and it feels so nice being matte. I just kind of want to pet it.
Okay, so for our audio listeners, Ronnie is obviously holding up a copy of his book in the solid, fleshy paper version. You went with the matte cover over the gloss, and I just think, like looking at it, it looks fantastic. And you create space, you said?
Yeah, it was create space, which at first, I'm not going to lie, was also abhorrently difficult, and I wanted to murder everything about it. But I stuck with it and bothered to learn it. I did have help. I'm not gonna lie. Amazing NaNoWriMo members helped me format it properly, and then my cover artist is just amazing anyway and gets amazing reviews from everything she makes. Reformatted the cover for that size, and then it was perfect. I mean, I can't complain.
Excellent.
It legitimately holds up to any trade 6x9 size I've ever seen.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I gave somebody a copy, and it legitimately looks like it was traditionally published, and they can't tell the difference. And yeah,
that makes me really happy because I've stolen your cover designer for my books. I sent her a message through Facebook, so she's going to be doing the Talented series for me, and I'm really excited. I can't wait to get my hands on the first copy of that, and we'll share it around the blog pages. So for you, why did you go paperback? Is this part of your bigger plan to sort of get, I guess, just more people exposed to your books?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was actually averse to it for the longest time. I was terrified because I labored under the belief that if I didn't use up my first print rights by getting the paperback, eventually I could get picked up by a publisher. I did find out since that time that there have been people who have published in print themselves independently. Larry Correia, New York Times bestselling and urban fantasy author of the Grim Noir Chronicles and what's his other series? His really famous one, Monster Hunter International. He did that, and he was still picked up by Baen Books because he showed they were marketable. So I figured, what the heck? And mostly the biggest reason is a million NaNoWriMo members have been poking and prodding and not so subtly yelling at me to just bite the bullet and just do it, because a lot of members only wanted the paperback. They Kindle's not their thing. Yeah. And at that point, I was like, oh, okay.
I've noticed a lot of your fans are getting both as well, and I think it's good because, I mean, okay, you're getting 2 sales from each person, but not even from a monetary perspective. It's giving those fans what they want, because they were clamoring for it. But to me, the biggest benefit of having a paperback is, like, where do you read? Okay, sometimes we read at home. We read at the doctor's surgery. We read on the train. We read on the bus. We read while we're waiting for stuff. Out in public, that's people's eyes going to be on your book, and the chances of someone walking up and going, oh, that's a lovely book cover, where can I buy it, and logging on and buying it that instant, pretty low. But the more it gets out there, the more it's going to stick in people's heads. And if they're cruising through Kindle and it comes up as a recommended buy, they're going to go, oh, I think I saw someone reading that the other day. And it helps to build your brand. And the recognition, I think, is a big thing. I know back when I was working in retail, it's all about recognition. You can pay thousands and thousands of dollars for ads that are in people's faces and have no immediate payoff. But once they start to recognize your brand, you get the tail from that. And that's where you really start to pick up speed, and when you get that snowball effect.
Yeah, and then there's also the biggest thing, which for some, I don't want to say it's all independent authors, but for some, there is that thing of validation, and this it helps with that from a motivational prospect. Not only holding it yourself and going, oh my God, it's a thing. I did this. It's the whole other people can hold it. They are holding it. I've been getting fan photos from around America. I don't think around the world yet, but I mean, I've seen people holding it up and taking photos of it, and it's amazing. And I think a reviewer today made a video holding my book up. It's already been held up on YouTube once by somebody else, so it's just one of those things. Like, I did it, I can keep doing it, which is the most important thing to writing. Just keep doing it.
Yeah. So what's your plan? Your plan is for full series, which we've discussed before. And I know one of the things I have to keep reminding you is this. It seems like you can't be an author without having to go through very regular periods of, oh my God, nobody's ever going to buy my stuff and I'm never going to make any money or be a success.
Every day.
Having a series gives you so much more leeway with your marketing. It means that you can do free promos on your first book. You're not going to make any money for those. But if you've got like a 40 or a 60% read-through rate, every free book you give away, well, that's more chances that people are going to get hooked on your series. And when you get to the point where you've got 10 books, that's 9 sales from giving away 1 book for free per person. If you get 1,000 downloads on that free book, that's potentially 9,000 people that could read all of your books, and that's a lot of sales.
Yeah. And then we're coming up on the 15-minute mark, so what do you want to cover in the last 5 minutes? Because I know you had some more important key points and closing things you wanted to touch upon.
I very briefly wanted to talk about, and I know this is something that we have differing opinions on, promotion sites.
Yep.
So places like Free Booksy and Bargain Booksy and now I'm drawing a blank and I can't remember any of them. BookBub. BookBub's the biggest and obviously the most expensive.
That's the one I would agree with you on, though. I have seen and heard so many testimonials, and I've physically watched other authors' traffics increase specifically from BookBub, but we do disagree, like you said, on the on getting paid promotion.
The middle range.
Yeah, because from my standpoint, I've seen a lot of them. They seem so spammy. Not BookBubs, but a lot of them, they have like 80,000 followers on Twitter, but they're also following 80,000 people. And it just seems like one of those, we follow you, we follow each other, and then they're clicking and resharing to the same audience that wants to be shared. So it's really just a bunch of deaf ears. Whereas, and again, this is my opinion, I lean more towards to getting the right reviews, reviewers, and places like, I can't afford a Kirkus review right now, but the second I could, I would get one because I've seen what that can do. It's legitimately like getting a timestamp from or stamp of approval from New York Times or any big American or international magazine that reviews books. That there have been authors who get just a Kirkus review. It shows up on their site, which has zillions of followers, and boom, they make a list or they're heading towards bestseller, if not make bestseller. Getting prominent bloggers because they have such an active role out there, whether it be through blogging or YouTube vlogs or whatever, they can engage the community. So I'm more of the opinion that getting the right reviewers helps because, again, it's word of mouth and people want to hear their opinion. I'm not against a lot of the paid marketing. It's just personal experience. I think it's hard to find what is going to pay off for you, like which ones investing the money will actually yield you the results for what you're paying.
Yeah, that's something I'm going to play around with. But to be honest, I'm not going to do it until book 2's out. And for those of you following book 2, I'm writing now for NaNoWriMo. It's going very well. It's crashing and burning. But I do hope to have that done by the end of the month or soon after, just a rough first draft. So at this stage, my publishing schedule will hopefully look like late January, early February for the first one, and then no more, maximum 3 months later, second one will be out. And hopefully the third one will sort of be in progress by then as well. But I do intend on hitting up every free promoter that I can when I first launch my book, and I'll be tracking all of those results on the blog. We'll go over them briefly in the podcast, but I'll give actual stats and numbers on a weekly basis so that everyone can see how that's going. I do have a non-fiction book out as well, which isn't as talked about because this is a fiction genre podcast. but it's absolutely fizzled since the first sales. And I've set up a free promo. It's going out on the 27th to the 29th, and I've promoted that through a few free sites. So I'll be keeping a track on that. And I know it's a totally different genre, but I guess will just kind of give me an idea as to how it works and how to go about it. So I'll be covering that at some stage too.
Fair enough. I pretty much have nothing to add from there aside from I'm finishing the editing for book 2 of the Grave Report right now. I'm hoping for a spring release. That depends on beta readers and everything else. My cover artist can make me a cover in minutes, and it's always perfect because that's just who she is. I'm currently 118,000 words into my 3rd fiction novel, which is the beginning of a new series set in the same world, since my whole idea was to build the urban fantasy Marvel universe. That will definitely be released in 2016, unless I get picked up with a publisher for that, which is a possibility. I don't know how long they take. But 2016 looks like it's going to be big for me because at least 2 to 3 books will be dropping all at once, all in my genre from me. So
excellent. Excellent.
And that's it.
Cool. So I guess to take out from today, if you've got a book out, or if you haven't got a book out and you're just sort of working on getting some followers, make sure that your website's up to scratch. Make sure that you've got a mailing list that people can get on easily. Keep writing, get as many books out as you can, pump them out, and get reviews. Once your book is out, make sure that you submit it to as many reviewers as you can. And over the next few months, I'll be compiling a list, obviously for my own use, but I'll be adding it as a downloadable to Gumroad as well. And I'll have a couple of lists, one for reviewers that accept submissions, and also one for places that you can send books to promote. I'm not going to be able to vouch for all of them. I won't be using all of them, but certainly it's going to be a good place to start doing your research.
Yep. And I guess one last thing to close, like we touched upon earlier, if you can, when you make your mailing list, see if you can offer something to entice people, something free. Like I said, I gave away a free short story. It's still up there. I plan to give away more. I don't really care. Again, I'm a hippie-esque author, so I give away a lot of my short stories for free. But it draws people in. It lets them see your style. And sometimes it gives you a way to play with something new and bring people to you. And
it's really a great incentive. People love something free. So you can check us out at rrverdi.com. If you want to go see Ronnie's stuff and jump on his mailing list. Mine's not quite set up. I'm still in the process of setting up. But my website, I've gone a bit different. I haven't gone with my name because it was taken. So you can see me at thespellscribe.com.
I like that. That's fancy.
Yeah, it's my Twitter handle now. So you can change your Twitter handle. So my Twitter handle is now at Spellscribe, and I'll slowly be setting up all the social media and stuff. But I'll be doing the screencast for all of that, which is why it is taking me a little bit longer, just so that people can see how it's done.
Fair enough.
Excellent.
I guess that's bye-bye time.
That's it. We'll see you all in 2 weeks. Work hard, write hard. Best of luck to anyone doing nano, and to anyone not doing nano, best of luck on whatever it is you are doing. Have a great week.
Bye-bye, peoples.